Welcome back to Dong Talk. Sit back and enjoy the show. Hey guys, I just wanted to say thank you for being patient. Before this video gets started, I just wanted to clear some things up real quick. Obviously, the whole video from my first one looks a lot different from this one. Again, this is the first podcast I filmed by myself. So thank you guys for staying patient. Thank you guys for coming along this journey, and I cannot wait for you guys to see the new changes and the new updates coming soon. So yeah, welcome to episode 2. Enjoy the show. See ya. Hey, welcome back to the show. It's been a minute since the last one, and I just wanted to, before we even start, explain how this channel will now be handled. First and foremost, this episode and this whole channel is not sponsored by Dobrik's. I just love the hat. I love David. Hopefully one day, if I'm successful enough, maybe. But I feel like I genuinely did jump the gun a lot on a lot of things, especially when it comes to this channel. It's not just gonna be a podcast based channel anymore, but I will go ahead and go into more detail of that later. I just wanted to tell you that there will be some changes made and more updates will follow. But like I said, welcome back to the show. This is episode 2, and let me tell you, ever since the last episode, a lot has changed. For starters, my life. As of the last episode, I am now a new father. My daughter is currently 2 months old, and it has been a wild ride, to say the least. I'm not used to, besides my family, having somebody in my life that I'm gonna be caring so much for and I guess raising in this world, this crazy world that we live in. But it's life and things happen, and now I'm happy to say that I'm a father. She's very happy. She's very healthy. She's happy when she wants to be. Let's get that out there in the beginning, okay? Because from the amount of time I spend with her, I mean, she's okay for a portion of it, and then other times she's very, well, if you've been around a baby, especially a 2-month-old, you would know. I just want to break down the process. Like, I just want to sit here with you guys and talk about life, and all the goals and aspirations I have for myself. So, get comfortable, sit back, and yeah, man. So found out that I was going to be a dad, and the first thing that came to mind was, wait a second, I don't even feel like an adult. And I'm recently 21. So I was like, I'm going to be a dad? Like, who trusted me to be a dad? But it happened. I got the news, and ever since then I just wanted to jump in and help as much as I could, to make sure that my daughter's life was a great one, to say the least, and me and her mother, we're learning along the way. But I do want to say that, God, this woman who gave birth to this beautiful, beautiful child, I mean, she's such a rock star. I mean, she's like the best mom ever. Like the sacrifices and everything she's gone through before the baby was here, and now that she is here, I mean, I am very grateful and proud that she is the mother of my child. She is genuinely the most amazing person I know. But she's not here to talk for herself, so let me go ahead and focus on me. As douchey as that sounds, I'm gonna say that now because I would love for her to tell her own story when she's ready. So, but now this is my life. This is my time with you guys. So So yeah, I got the news, and there was a lot of doctor's appointments. There was a lot of changes that I had to make. I had to make a lot of changes. Uh, from working at Mirage at the casino down the strip as a lifeguard, I really had to sit with myself and think, is this enough to support a family? Is this enough to support a child? And I came to my senses and I realized that maybe, as much as I did love the job, as much as I love the environment and being around there, I really did have to make a big change, and that was sitting down with myself and just telling myself, I was like, hey, I need what they call now a big boy job. I need a big boy job. So I went on searching, and luckily I did find one. Was there for about 3 months, and let me tell you, that is not enough time. That is not enough time to make enough money to support a family, and I was stressing. I was really stressing, because even though I had months before my daughter would be born, I was just worried that I would never be enough, that I would never make enough, that I would never, I guess, reach that point and that level, I guess, to be considered a dad. Now, growing up, I was told myself that anybody can be a dad, especially if you know me and the background, you know that anybody can be a dad, but it takes that one special person to be a father. And I don't think I'm there yet. I am far from it. I need to be honest with myself. I'm not gonna say I'm a bad dad, but there are situations where I do feel like the level of, I guess, and please forgive me for my intellectual or unintellectual. See, please forgive me for my grammar, because it's not the best. But I think due to the unpreparedness, both mentally and just life wise, I guess, there's a lot that would, for me, that I would consider myself to be a bad dad for. I'm glad that it turns out I'm the only one who thinks that. I really am, because I do love my daughter with all my heart. So, but yeah, after landing that job, it was doctor's appointments after doctor's appointments, and I mean, it was like changing schedules here, making sure I could make it there on time. Like I never wanted to miss a doctor's appointment, and for the most part, I didn't. But there were times where I couldn't be there for a good reason, and not because I didn't want to be. But yeah, and then just one day I was jumping around trying to find the best fit employment for me, to make sure that I could support my family, support my daughter, and all that good stuff. And months go by, and we're just having fun for the most part. Probably me more than the mother. But life was good, and life is still good. But we were still able to go on vacation here and there, and do some semi-normal stuff after becoming parents. I think what scared me the most, and what kind of made me think, like, okay, now you have to be ready. Kind of. Now you have to be in a different position, instead of instead of saying like you're not ready, like to myself, like you're not ready at all. You have to be ready now. I guess at the point where I was and where we were, like I had to be ready. So after we got the news that months later, again, sorry for going off track there a little bit. After finding out that she was about to give birth, and I froze. I really did. I mean, I froze for maybe 30 seconds to a minute. I remember when I got the call from the mom, I was cooking with my sister, and she had called me and it was like, hey, I'm going to the hospital. If you would like to follow, you can. I can't quite remember what she said exactly, so I'm not going to try, but it was along the lines of, I should probably go, So I froze for a minute. I hopped in my car and I drove down to the hospital. Let me tell you, God, the amount of respect, the newfound respect, not like brand new, but the newfound level of respect that I have for women. I mean, they always tell you that you need to respect women because they do this and they do that and this and that. That changed a lot. Especially when I saw the mother of my child go through what she went through, and oh my God, I mean, let's just say that all the wrongdoings that I did to her, and all the stuff that I probably shouldn't have said and done, it genuinely made me feel a lot worse after seeing what she went through. And God, she is such, again, I will say this for the rest of my life and after, she is the greatest mother ever. She really is. I mean, God, the things she went through and the things a woman goes through when giving birth, it's just, it's beautiful and it's scary all at the same time. It's life-changing. It's life-changing for both sides. I don't like to compare because, it's not the right thing to do, but let me tell you, I will compare, because it is like, I didn't go through what she went through. Oh my gosh, I'm glad that I was able to be there and witness that, because I still make the same mistakes. But I try to dial it down as much as I can after witnessing that with her. And I mean, this child has changed both our lives forever. And I mean, I couldn't be more grateful to hold the title of a parent. I'm not ready to call myself a dad or a father or whatever, because I just don't think that I've proven myself enough. But yeah, so I mean, it was crazy. I became a dad 2 days before my 21st birthday. Sorry, I just called myself a dad. A parent. I became a parent 2 days before my birthday, which is actually really crazy, because she was born on March 18th. I was actually supposed to be born on March 18th. Unfortunately, there was some issues with my mother, but I think it was just so great that my daughter was born the day I was supposed to be born. It just hit like a chord in me, whatever the saying goes. But it was really special because, time, it flew by and it stayed still all at the same time. I mean, I that's the best way I can explain how those couple of days went until I was finally able to hold my daughter. I mean, it was such a whole new different experience for me, and call me messed up all you want, but when you see your partner go through something like that, and bring a life into this world, and just being scared and nervous and anxious every day, for what's to come, and what is going to happen to that person that you helped bring a life into this world. When her mom came out to get me after she had gone into the delivery room with her, we were walking down the hall, and she was like, come and see your kid, come and hold your kid, you're a dad. I looked her in the face and I was like, I would rather see the mom. I really would, because at that time I just wanted to, I was so relieved. I was so relieved that those few hours, like those days, I should say, those days in the hospital were stressful for me. So I can only imagine what it was like for the mom. But all I wanted to do at that point, when I knew that my daughter was here and I could hear her crying as I was walking towards the room, I just told her, I was like, I just want to see the mom. I just want to stand by her bedside and just thank her and say sorry. And you have no idea how many times I said sorry over and over and over again, from the moment I found out that she was pregnant to the moment that our daughter was out in this world. Um, but after some time with the mom, I turned around and oh my gosh, my kid was right in front of me, and I had my hands on my knees and I was just crying, and I was so numb. I know it's not the best feeling to feel at first, but I was so numb to knowing that my life would never be the same again, and that there is a human in front of me that is half me. Like it was a trip. But after that feeling of numbness and not knowing what to say or do after, I mean, I was just so glad to be able to share a moment with my daughter. And gosh, I can't even begin to explain how it feels to hold your kid for the first time ever, and that skin to skin contact moment that the hospital will give you. I mean, that's probably the best thing that a hospital could ever do for a patient, other than obviously save their life. But I'm glad that that is a thing that they are very open with, and very they recommend it so much, and I'm so glad that I wasn't scared enough to experience that, because I didn't think I would be able to. I was that, like, I was just bouncing from emotion to emotion, and I was just so scared. I was just so scared because I was like, I don't think I'll ever be ready. But now that's changed a little bit. There's a lot that I could still work on, obviously. I'm learning as I go, and there's a lot of things that can be changed. So hopefully, one day I reach that level that I want to be at to be a dad. And the last part of that story that I want to share is I lost some people following the birth of my daughter, and the main important person. Uh, and I'm sorry, I love my other family. I really do. I love my family. Period. Did I really just say that? I love my family in general, but I mean, growing up, my parents had just moved from the Philippines. They were living the American dream, and I mean, they worked their asses off. I mean, from work, they were just working and working and working and trying to provide for their family and give their family, us, the best life that we could possibly live. And let's just say that they were very successful, and I'm glad and proud of them for all the hard work that they put in to make sure that we never had to struggle. So my best friend growing up was my grandma. Very cliche, but it's true. I grew up with my aunt and my uncle, and especially my grandma. My grandma, when I don't quite really know the story, but from what I can remember, I think that she had come down after I was born, maybe a little after. And ever since then, we we were inseparable. I mean, I grew up and I got to know her as a person, and actually know her. And obviously, as families do, they bicker, they fight, they get into little arguments here and there. But at the end of the day, gosh, there was no other person that I would rather come home to after school or after work than my grandma, and watch, our teleserias, or our soap operas on the Filipino channel. And that's how I learned my Tagalog. Being Filipino, that's such a big thing for me. I want to be able to be as close to my roots as possible. She would teach me. She would raise me, to be a good person. And there's a lot that she wouldn't be proud of, but there's also some things out there that she would be proud of. But later in my life, around middle school, she had been diagnosed with breast cancer. Um, Luckily, I want to say after 4 years, 8 years, something like that. After getting that news, and watching her go through chemo and all that, she was thankfully, by God's hand, diagnosed as cancer free. She was cancer free. I think she was cancer free for 8 years. I don't want to get it wrong, but I remember I was still pretty young when I got the news, because I remember I was still acting, and that was between like 10 to 15 when I was doing all the auditions. Um, so she was cancer free, and then unfortunately, I don't want to say she lost her battle, because she didn't. She didn't lose her battle. She gave it her all. It was just her time to go. So she passed not too long before I got the news that I was going to be a dad. And I mean, that right there was a shock. It was like a punch to the gut. And after the first few months of learning the news that I was going to be a dad, everybody told me like, how do you feel, and are you ready, and this and that, and you know, and the always good thing that they would throw in there, she would be so proud, or like, I mean, it was just like roller coaster, like a roller coaster of emotions after another. But one day I remember, I forget who I was talking to, but I told them, I was like, I just think it's so great how on both ends we unfortunately lost loved ones, but on both ends, it was so, in a way, heartwarming that I had lost my grandmother. And I always told people after coming to that realization that I think it's not great, but just, I don't know, I always thought it was a blessing how I lost my grandmother and then I was gifted a daughter. It was like in my head that God was like, look, I know that you lost one of the biggest parts of your life, and you're about to gain the rest of your life, with this child. And I truly do believe that he was sitting there with my grandma and being like, as much as he wants a boy, because I really wanted a boy. I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted a boy. I really wanted a son, but I do believe that they were both sitting up there and was like, we should send him down a daughter. So, come the gender reveal, we found out we had a daughter. So that was pretty great. I think my wants of a son really went away after that. And they always say that the finger grab, like when the baby grabs your finger for the first time, like, it's true. It really is. I mean, there's no other feeling that could ever hold a candle to that feeling of your child holding you for the first time, even if they're not aware that they are. Just the feeling of it, it's really phenomenal. It really is. So that is my story of being a dad. There will be a lot more. If you follow me on my socials, you will already see that. But I promise you, this child is a gift, and she will never be anything other than that. She is a true, honest gift that I am happy that I am in a position to call her my daughter every day. So yeah, thank you for letting me be able to share that. I don't know how to transition into the next one. I probably should have saved that for the last, but it's my baby though, so I had to start it. I'm just gonna keep going, talking about life-changing situations and opportunities. I hold this mic so weird. I am in the process of trying to get my short film done. Let's just say that I did try. I got a whole cast and crew together, and I think, like I said in the beginning, there's a lot of things that I do jump the gun on. And it's not because, like, I don't want to be ready or anything like that, or I don't take it seriously. I guess in the eyes of outsiders, that's what it looks like. But for me, I just get very excited. I'm a very excited person when it comes to things that he's very passionate about. But I believe that there's a difference between excited and passionate. And I really did have to sit with myself and be like, am I just wanting to do this because it's cool, or am I wanting to do this because I really, really am passionate about it? You can be both at the same time, but you have to find the the middle, I guess. You have to choose a side, and it sounds so bad, but that's the way I explain it. So I tried to get it done before my daughter was born. I thought that, 3 months, like from start to finish, was enough. Like the casting, then the filming, then the editing and the rehearsals. I thought that would be enough time for a short film. I understand that I'm stupid. um but I mean, I took on a new role um one day, and I was like, I have a story to tell. Uh I want to share this story from my side, because there is another side. Um but I will never speak for that other person. This short film that I'm trying to release and get made and made into a reality is more of a PSA, if anything. And excuse me, a story that I want to tell my daughter. It's probably not like a story she'll hear until she's older, but this is a way of showing her what she got herself into, and the life that she was born into. Um, and yeah, that's the best I can explain it. But so one day, I was sitting back, and I watch a lot of podcasts and behind the scenes of projects and movies and stuff, and here and there. I'm probably gonna mess up the audio by holding the mic like this. Uh, but I wanted to share a real story. I worked at a hospice clinic that my grandmother was at for a while, for recovery though. So it's like a rehab hospice place. And I met this gentleman, and God, till this day, he is one of the most fascinating and most amazing people I've ever met in my life. I am white. I need to change this. Sorry to everyone watching. Jesus. I really thought I had this set before I started filming. Wow, that is gonna be a bitch to edit. All right. Anyway, I met this amazing person, and we would swap stories here and there, and because I was a receptionist at that place, and so every time he would come in, I would greet him, and we'd talk for 30 minutes, and as long as he didn't get in the way of work, I was more than happy to talk to him. Um, and he would share this story with me, and I just loved it. I loved it, and I asked him, I was like, hey, with your permission, can I make this into a short film? And he told me, he's so funny. He told me, he was like, oh, I don't know if I'm the best person for that, or I don't know if I can act, or I don't know if I can. And I was like, no, I just want your consent to write this story. I don't want to tell your story, but I want to take it and I want to run with it. I want to turn it into my own without sounding too much of a bitch. And luckily he said yes. And I was like, great, you said yes. I was like, great. So I was sitting at home, and I was trying to write this script about, the same situation, but with a different premise. And still trying to get that feeling across that I got every time he told me stories about his life. But I froze, and I just couldn't. I was like, why can't I do this? Because, like, with my current job now, we get these schedules, and in the back sometimes it will be blank, and I can just like write, however I'm feeling, like into a story, and it makes sense for the most part. I'm not the best writer. But this time I couldn't, and I couldn't understand why until I sat down with the mother of my child, and she was like, you have to write something that you can relate with. And funny story, she was actually the one that gave me the courage to write and make this short film that I'm trying to make. I never would have if she didn't tell me that I could. So that's actually really great. But she was right. I was trying to come up with these different situations and these different scenarios and these different stories to write about and turn into a short film or a skit or something. But I just couldn't. I was stuck. But once I had that conversation with her, it was just flowing. And I will say there were some parts where it was hard to write. Honestly, the whole thing was hard to write. But the fact that I related to the story because I lived that story, and I'm sure once more updates come out, and then once the actual short comes out, you guys will understand that some more people than most have probably gone through what I've gone through. Um, and it was great because, I had like so many different versions of the script, but it always focused on that story. It never changed story wise, but it changed the way like it was written, the settings, the all of it all changed differently, but all for the same goal and story at the end. So, you know, I sat down with some friends. I ran some auditions, and some were great and some went exactly the way I wanted it. But life happens, and life will throw you curveballs, because once you think that you have something great, something just has to happen. And there were situations where that did happen. So I was already stressing because I was like, I'm running out of time. Like, I really want to get this done, but I want to get it done right. Like, this isn't just a thing that I can do like this, like on my phone, and just do an hour or 30 minutes of, and then be okay, great, I'm done. This is a story that does genuinely take some time, and at the time of this whole thing being started, I don't think that I really registered that in my head. I think I was like, I can't believe that I got these people to do it, these amazing people, that I know will hopefully help me share the story that I want to portray, because these are the greatest people I could have ever come across. But because of my excitement and because of my lack of readiness and preparation, a lot of things didn't fall through, and I ran out of time. I ran out of time like a bitch. And I kind of lost hope, because I was like, now I'm a dad. Now I can't do it. I can't do it because I have to, or not have to. I want to focus on my kid. But at the same time, yes, I have to focus on my kid because I am now a parent. But, there's just a lot of people in my corner who tell me, like, look, you can do both as long as you know how to handle it. And I took their advice. And, instead of just hopping back in that group chat with my cast and crew and being like, hey, let's do it. Let's meet up this day. Let's meet up that day. I was like, no, wait a second. Let me make sure I do this right now. So I did hop into that group chat, and I did tell them what I basically just said. I want to do this right now. I want to get it right. I want to get it done the right way. I got some news back for certain people in that group chat, which is really great, because those are, again, the amazing people. Everybody in that group chat is amazing. So an answer from any of them is really great for me and for them, hopefully. And I have family in town. I have my uncle in town who was in that industry in the Philippines, and he graciously agreed to be the director of my short film. And he's obviously aged in the industry and has a lot more experience. He's been in front of the camera, behind the camera, in the writer's room. I mean, this whole process, I told myself, I want to do this on my own. I want this to be something I said that I did by myself. But not really. I just didn't want to ask for help from my family. And I realized that's also very stupid, because if you have people who have the experience, use it. Maybe not to your advantage, but use it if they're willing to help. If those connections are willing to help you make your dreams come true, use it. Take advantage of it. So this story is just, I feel like if my script was as good as I think it is, and it's shot the right way, I have a lot of trust in my cast, my crew. I really feel like it will hit home for some of you guys out there, and I hope that by me sharing my story, it will help a lot more people come out and share theirs as well. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm doing it the right way. I'm taking time. I realize I still have to be a dad. I still have to work to be said dad and support my family. But when I do have the time, I just can't wait to get started on this project. It is still called Secret. Again, if some of you follow me on my socials, you will see that we do have some test footage Again, I applaud everybody in those clips and behind the scenes and all that stuff. But yeah, so exciting stuff to come. And to close us all out on the same type of topic. No, actually, no, it is the same topic. My biggest life goal, production wise, is opening up my own production company out here in Vegas. It really is. I was born and raised out here. This city has given me a lot of opportunities, whether it was in the industry side or just as a job in schools and all that stuff. They've given me the opportunity to be myself and to, to make the mistakes and to be a part of my greatest successes, So that I kind of took that growing up and I made it into a mission. I don't really know how to say this without getting through to some people, or by trying to get through to some people out there. From 10 to 15, I know I tell the story a lot, but it will make sense. From 10 to 15, I was going to a local acting academy out here in Las Vegas. And from inside that company and inside that industry and inside that academy, I got to meet some of my greatest longtime friends. But I also learned some of the ways that, the industry works inside and out. I've been through some really unforgettable, amazing auditions, and I've got to meet some of my greatest heroes in the industry, like Eric Allen Kramer, the dad from Good Luck Charlie, and a lot of you Nickelodeon heads out there. Man, I hate myself. Jamie Snow? I don't know. You can Google her later, but she was in the episode of Victorious of the karaoke bar. I believe she was the girl that was trying to steal Beck from Liz Gill's character, or Liz Gillies, I'm sorry, in Victorious, in that karaoke scene where, Victoria Justice has that amazing number where she's all, covered in makeup, and then she takes it off and she's beautiful, I just got to meet people that I grew up watching on TV, and then all of a sudden now I'm in front of them trying to legally sell myself. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. I was performing for them in order for me to try and be in their next production or their next whatever they were doing. And unfortunately, I will say that I didn't fail either. I just didn't reach the level that I had in my head when I first joined. And it wasn't on the company, it wasn't on the casting. It was just, I guess, again, I thought I was going to be able to fit whatever they were looking for, but obviously there will always be somebody better. And one of the greatest advices that I got from acting and auditioning and all that stuff was, yes, there will always be someone better, but when you walk into that room, you have to try to be the best person that they will see for that day. And I took that advice, and I got some callbacks here and there. I was able to film my first feature film, and it was so great. Even if my part wasn't the biggest, it was just still great because I did it. I could tell myself that I did the stuff that I wanted to do. I was able to go on sets. I was able to go into studios that I only saw in Grand Theft Auto growing up, or passing by when my family go to Disneyland or Universal and stuff like that, or just visiting family and being like, I wish I could just be able to walk through the gate, and walk right back out. I just want to do that. And then to be able to say that not only did I walk through those gates, but I walked the sets of Paramount, Disney, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, all these great places that made my childhood TV wise, that just made it for me. And it was great. It was great getting the opportunity to do that. But anyway, The reason I say all this is because my biggest goal with my hopefully to be, or hopeful to be, studio out here in Vegas is giving the giving the chances to those people out there who probably aren't, and I don't mean any disrespect, or I'm not trying to sound cocky or what is it, spoiled or anything, but I want to give people, those talented people, everybody out there is talented, but I want to give those people out there who didn't get the chances that I got, who weren't, who didn't have the luxury of being able to say, hey, I want to do this one day, and then saying, oh, never mind, I don't, you know, I just want to give those people out there who want to get behind the camera, in front of the camera, in the writer's room, in the producer's room, in the director's seat, I want to give those people the chance, and I want to have an open door. There is a character that I wrote. I am that character, and the person playing me does not look like me. I mean, because it doesn't matter. It's a story. It is a true story. But at the end of the day, it is a story. It doesn't matter if they don't fit the role. It's just who has the passion and the dedication and the want to really do it, instead of, hey, I want to be in front of the camera, I want to be in front of the camera. I want to get paid for this, or I want to see myself on the big screen. There's a difference between just wanting to do it, or wanting to do it for the hell of it, and wanting to do it because you are genuinely passionate about it. And that is my goal. I want to give those people the chance to, tell their story and see it on the big screen. And, I just want to live out my dream, through other people's eyes, and seeing what I was able to accomplish because I worked, and I can't wait to see what those other people accomplish because they worked. And I always tell my cast and crew that it is a well-known saying that if I'm eating, y'all are eating too, like if I succeed, everybody will succeed. If I get an award for something, we're all getting an award, because they were there from the beginning, and I hope that they're there for whatever's next to come. So that is the goal, I do plan on calling it Atlas Studios, yes, for my daughter, and the production name will be called Beyond Productions, because, it's just to infinity and beyond from here. As cliche as that sounds, I do have really big goals. I really do have really big dreams and big plans, and just saying that I have the opportunity to make those dreams a reality, and having the connections and the utilities to make it a reality. It's just so unfathomable to me, because I never thought that I would, and now I do. And it's just a matter of how dedicated I am to try to plan out my life as best as I can to make everything that I have, dreamt of or planned in my head become a reality. Like this right here. I found some time. It fit. It didn't get in the way of anything else. And I'm able to make episode 2. And now I'm gonna edit it myself. So it might not look good as the first one did, because I had my best friend Jazz edit it, and she's an actual editor. So this is for me. This is for me and you guys. This channel is not just for me. These stories may have been, but these are my stories that I want to share with you guys and continuously share more of like this. And then, as the ball rolls and keeps rolling, maybe we'll have some special guests come in, because I have a lot of, maybe not a lot, but I have some very interesting people in my life that you guys may be familiar with, or maybe not, but their stories are worth telling, and I would love for them to tell them. So thank you guys for letting me share this story, or these stories, I should say. Thank you for taking the time to sit down and watch me. Sorry if my face isn't very watchable. I will also be releasing this podcast on Spotify, so you can just listen to it. And if my voice isn't listenable, I'm sorry. But to those of you out there who enjoy these stories, who enjoy videos like these, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of the beginning. And when I do make it, because I hate saying if, because then it's just like a whatever dream. When I do make it, and when we all make it, I'm very thankful and will forever be thankful for all of you out there. So, a lot of changes are coming. So just stay tuned. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends and family. Hopefully, these stories were entertaining enough to capture your attention. Or if you listen to podcasts to fall asleep like I do, Ear Biscuits by Good Mythical Morning. Gosh, their stories are so great, but I can't sleep in silence. So I listen to them every night, and it's just great. And I hope one day I can help you fall asleep, maybe. But I do have a loud voice here and there, so maybe not. But we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you come back for episode 3, and I'll see you then. Peace out.